One of the best ways for me to take a break and disconnect from all the screens I'm staring at every single day is to simply go for a drive. No destination, no plan, just head up a mountain, get off the highway and find a secluded old trail and maybe even a few puddles of mud. And that's exactly what I did on this day, and my companion was the brand new 2025 Ram Rebel. This right here is the brand new 2025 Ram Rebel, and it's exciting for me to review this truck because I own the 2020 Ram Rebel with the big 5.7 liter V8. However, this one comes with the Hurricane Inline 6. That's twin turbo. You still have more power, more torque in this one. But my question is, are you going to miss the V8 when it comes to the driving of this truck? So what we're going to do in this video is, of course, we're going to talk about this new design. We have a brand new front end. We're going to talk about the side view as well, the rear end, the interior, which is also brand new. And then, of course, we're going to take this for a drive. The 2025 Ram Rebel is powered by a 3-liter twin-turbo Hurricane Inline 6. It puts out more power than the old V8 at 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic, 4-wheel drive. You do get rear lockers in this truck. 0 to 60 is done in about 5.2 seconds. Payload comes in at 1,910 pounds, towing 11,560 pounds. Fuel economy better than the V8 here as well, of course, being an inline 6, 18 city, 25 highway, and the base price for this is just over $64,000. Now, when I first saw the pictures of the new 2025 Ram Rebel, I thought that it doesn't set it apart as much as the previous generation when it comes to the front-end graphics. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the grille is completely brand new. In the previous generation, we had this line right here, cutting up much higher up here in the grille section before dipping down. We also have a new position for the Ram letters. They sit a lot higher up in the grille now, but they do sit in line with the headlights. And I do like that. It looks very clean. But previously, this went higher up and this sat below this line right here. In addition to that, in the front end, we also have this part of the 360 camera. The front mounted camera is located right here underneath the letter A. Now, when I was shopping for my Ram Rebel, I wanted it in this exact color, this light silver. I think it's an absolutely beautiful color. However, I got a really good deal on black one, and I'm glad I went with that because I'm really happy with how my personal Rebel turned out. However, this looks beautiful. The hood design has always been a beautiful design by Ram for the 1500s. I'm not sure if this is a brand new hood or if it's the same hood as the previous generation. It looks very similar. We do, however, have new graphics here. Instead of 1500 5.7 liter Hemi as it sat on the V8, this says 1500 SST, which stands for straight 6 turbo, and it looks pretty good. We also have the heat extractor here, completely functional inside of the bodywork of the hood, in addition to this center bulge and this beautiful dip here. Beautifully done overall for the styling of the hood design of the 1500. Going into a little more detail of what's going on in the front end, this being the Rebel, the more off-road capable 1500, we do have a completely metal bumper. We also have a metal skid plate underneath here. The styling looks a little bit more conservative than the previous generation, but it still looks very, very cool. You have the tow hooks here as well, and these beautiful chamfers that houses all the key graphics in the front end. That's details, those are details that I appreciate that Ram put in, because I feel chamfers for key graphics like we have here are going away, and this still has it, thankfully, in 2025. I also like that everything here in the front end is completely functional when it comes to the grille design. Everything up here is completely open. Even this little slot here is also open, in addition to the slot that we have down here. So complete functionality for the grille design here. One interesting detail when it comes to the headlight design here is, yes, it is full LED for the main headlights, but comparing it to the previous generation, Ram went back to a light bulb design for the indicators, and that is something I don't really understand. They did the same thing in the rear end, which we're gonna have a look at in a minute, but why not make the light bulb, the indicator here, LED as well, since that's what we had for the previous generation. This feels like a step backwards, and it doesn't look as modern as the previous
1500 Rebel. Now, coming around to the side view of the 2025 Ram Rebel, this clearly has this beautiful 3-box design. I also like the line flow that we have, very simple designs. We have this beautiful line extending all the way from the corner right here through the doors into the headlights in the front end, extending visually the length of this truck. You also have the same line going down here in the bottom, looking absolutely beautiful. In this case, we do have the Ram Rebel, I guess you would call this the sticker package, which I would personally get, specifically if you have it in silver like this. It's a cool contrast, and the graphics themselves look very cool. Like, it follows the design and curvatures of the bodywork of the truck, instead of what Ford is doing, for example, just putting a name here. For example, the Tremor just says Tremor here, and that's all you get. This looks way cooler than that. Now, this one is equipped with the air ride option, meaning that we have 4-corner air rides set up on this truck, meaning that you can have a ground clearance of up to 10.7 inches, which is definitely going to help you out when it comes to those trails. The wheel and tire setup here, we have 18-inch wheels with 33-inch tall tires. We have a brand new design for the wheel design itself. I think it looks beautiful. I think also it suits it in black. Usually I'm not a huge fan of black wheels, but in this case, I think it looks great. And I'm surprised by just how comfortable these tires are, both on-road and off-road, and also how quiet they are on highways, specifically with this aggressive pattern that we have on them. We do have Bilstein suspension on the Rebel, which definitely helps with the comfort, and in this case, this is equipped with the trailer mirrors, which are absolutely massive here. You do have the LED indicators here, but this is not something that I personally would go with, because if you sit and drive there and you come to an intersection, this can actually block an entire truck. It creates a very big blind spot, but of course, they're very usable if you have a trailer back there. You can extend them out, or you can fold them back in if you want to. You also have the two-tone for this Ram Rebel. You can see that we have the black line going down here. However, what I would like to do here is to extend this black line to go into the rear bumper here as well, and have this piece blacked out. So we have one ribbon at the lower section all around the truck being blacked out. I still think this is one of the best looking trucks on the market today. It's such a beautiful design and definitely clearly recognizable as a Ram 1500 Rebel. Coming around to the rear end here, you can see that we still have these beautiful Ram letters spelled out in the middle here, since we don't have the split tailgate. If you have that, you're just going to get the Ram logo here in the middle. In addition to that, the 4x4 is also blacked out, and of course the Rebel badge right here all the way down. This is what I love about the Ram 1500s in general, is that they have the dual exhaust setup. We do have that here on the Rebel, of course, as well. In this case, they're all blacked out in this shiny black finish, looking great. However, it does not have the same sound, obviously, like we have with the 5.7 liter V8. And that is the one thing that I really miss about this truck, is the sound of the 5.7 liter V8. Now, as we talked about in the front end design with the indicator light, the thing here about this taillight is Ram decided to go back to light bulb designs here for the indicators in the back as well, and we don't have a clear daytime running LED, and that is super weird to me. Again, it feels like we're going a step backwards, and that is the reason why I think the previous Ram actually looks more modern, specifically graphically, than this one with the light bulb design. But it is a completely new design for the taillight. They have this carved out portions up top and down here at the bottom, and overall I still think it looks great, because we still have the same treatment like we have in the front end, with all these beautiful chamfers above and below the key graphics in the rear end. Now, opening up the tailgate here, we do have the 360 camera mounted right here, which is also, of course, the reverse camera. Popping this down, you can see that it is completely damped. We do have the spray-in bed liner for this specific Rebel. You also have a 12-volt house outlet here with a couple of LED lights on each corners and some tie downs on the sides, and that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if this is power up as well. It is. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's another feature that I didn't expect for the 2025 Rebel. Last but not least, in the rear end, I'm not sure if this is a new feature for 2025, but I definitely did not see it for the spec sheet on the 2020 models, is this little kickstand here. So you can kick this out. Makes it a lot easier to check out what's going on up here in the bed. And when you're done, all you got to do is just kick it back in like that. So let's check out what's new for the 2025 Ram Rebel in the interior. First of all, I love this red contrast that we have right here. It just looks sporty. Black and red always works. So let's fire this up. Let's get some air blowing in here. So what do we do have that's new in here? First of all, we do have a display for the passenger that I can't see from this angle. And this is for entertainment, of course, for the passengers. This is a 12.2 inch screen, so where they can hook up. You do have an HDMI port right here. I do believe you can hook up some games if you want to do that, or just check out the map or something like that on that screen. I think the integration of the screen looks very clean. It feels like it follows the overall line flow of the design. Beautifully done. We still have soft touch material up here, and this is also brand new for 2025. We do have a 14-inch infotainment screen for 2025. It sticks up a little higher than it used to do before. It's absolutely massive, but the good news about this is that we still have all the old functionality when it comes to the climate control settings, with the buttons here on the side for the fan speed, the temperature, and so on. You do have heated and cooled seats, but you have to go into the software to adjust that, which is totally fine because it's not something you're gonna use every day anyway. If you want to, you can also adjust the temp and the fan speed in the screen software itself. Inside here, you go to the home screen, you do have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You also have the music settings here, comfort, which is the climate control setting. Full navigation takes up the entire screen. I really like to see that. Phone connectivity, and you have the vehicle settings here where you can change the cameras. You can check out all the camera views, the surround camera here, for example. And the amount of angles you can get here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles. And there is also about more cams here, so I'm not sure if you can hook up even more cameras in addition to all the cameras that we already have here. But the screen is decent. The resolution is great. However, the screen size feels a little bit too small. You have the 360 top view on the left side here and the selected camera on the right side. As I said, this one has the air suspension, meaning that you have 3 different levels that you can set the ride height to. You have an entry level, a normal level, and then sort of an off-road level. And that gives you the 10.7 inch of ground clearance, which is fantastic. I do believe without the air suspension, it's 10.1 inches. The vents looks very similar to the previous generation. They just stick out from the side of the screen here. Very easy to adjust. And I like, again, this red accent color that we have going up all around this interior. Up top here, you do have a cigarette outlet. Further down, you find the trailer brake and the trailer steering here as well, in addition to a bunch of connectivity here. You have 3 USB-Cs, 3 regular USBs, 1 aux port, and 1 HDMI for the passenger screen. This is one detail that I love about these new 2025 1500s is this RAM chargers. You just place your phone in here and it automatically charges your phone when it's in this little slot here. Further down, we have a house outlet all the way down here, and there is a huge amount of storage underneath here. 2 cup holders, you can slide this back and forth. This is what the key looks like right here. With the unlock and lock, drop the tailgate, drop the ride height, and also automatic start if you click this button 2 times. Some coin holders here, more storage. We have the Ram logo on the armrest, still the same big beautiful armrest for the 1500 of 2025. Open this up, you have more storage under here with some measurements in the lower section molded into the plastic. We also have a top section here with some additional storage and another USB port in this area up top. Looking at the seats, I would like to have the red contrast color, or it's not sort of, it's more burgundy in the seats as well, at least in the stitching. They're all blacked out now. We don't have any sort of accent color in them, but they are very comfortable. I do believe these are the exact same seats that we did get in the previous generation. Nothing wrong with that. They work great. Looking at the steering wheel, and this is where the red accents comes back here. You have the gear limiter here, so if you want to shift gears manually, you do that on the right side, in addition to all automatic cruise control here, and the adjustments for the screen setup on the left side. Voice command and the drive modes are located here as well. So let's check out what drive modes we have. We have snow, tow, sport, off-road, or auto. I like to keep it in auto because the truck usually knows what drive modes is the best to be in. And this screen is configurable to the max, 12.3 inches. You can do so many different things with this. You can have the entire map show if you want to do that. You can have some auxiliary gauges. You can have the fuel economy and a lot of different things. And this is exactly what I want to see when it comes to a digital screen like this. I like to keep it in the most traditional layout, which is just simply 2 gauges on each side and the speedometer in the middle. It just looks cleanest to me. To the right side of the steering wheel, you have the start button and also the 4-wheel drive selection. You have 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive auto, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. There's also this button to shut off the automatic turn off at red lights. Axle lock, you have a rear locking differential in this. And next to that, there is the hill descent control. Looking up top, this one comes equipped with the full panoramic sunroof, which is absolutely massive and stretches the entire length of the truck or the roof. This is something that I personally would not equip my 1500 with. Last but not least, we don't have 2 glove boxes like we used to have, because this now takes up, the top section is now taken up by this big screen here. Instead, we do have the same old glove box down here at the bottom with the Rebel badge on the side. Jumping into the back seat, let's check this out and let's see how much space we have here. I already know that I'm gonna fit perfectly fine in here, this being a full-size truck. I like that we have the grab handle here, stepping up in here. I like, again, that the red accent color comes back in the back seats, in addition to the Harman & Kardon sound system that we have for this truck. And as you can see, no problems at all. I have so much space back here behind my own driving position, me being 6'1", 6'2". All the way down here in the middle, there is a house outlet. You also have 2 USBs, more USBs here, 2 USB-Cs, 2 regular USBs, 2 cup holders as well as cup holders in the door. You also have heated seats back here. And if we fold down the center armrest, you are going to find even more cup holders. So 6 cup holders in total for the back seat. So what is it like to drive the new 2025 Ram Rebel with the Hurricane inline 6 engine? As I said, you do get more power, more torque, 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. It's also quicker and it's so smooth. This is one of my favorite trails here close to Bailey in Colorado. It's just a fantastic area to just come out and relax and also do some filming like we're doing right now. My initial question when I started this video was, do I miss the 5.7 liter V8? I mean, yes, I do miss the, let's fold in the rear mirrors here because they're so big. Don't want them to scrape on the branches here. I do miss the noise of the 5.7 liter for sure. It just sounds so much better than this. But other than that, that is the only thing that really I miss with the 5.7 liter V8. This is so smooth, this Hurricane inline 6 engine. It's so, the power delivery is just from the bottom all the way through the rev range. Thanks to the twin turbos, you do have some power down low as well. And the 8-speed automatic also works fantastically, and the tires are great as well, specifically when you're going on trails like this. They're super quiet. I said this when we talked about the side view and the wheels and tires of the exterior. They're so quiet, they're so aggressive when it comes to the pattern, but one of the best off-road tires you can get, I do believe, are these Goodyear Wranglers. So going over these bumps and trails like we're doing right now, right now we are in the highest off-road ride height, which is going to give you a little bit more clearance, but it's also going to make the ride a little rougher because these shocks are under tension, they're stretched out, you don't have as much bounciness in it. So we can bring it down one level here and see if it gets a little more comfortable going over these ridges that we have in the trail. But I mean, the Ram Rebel has always been, for sure, one of my favorite trucks when it comes to off-road trucks. I love the looks of it. I also really like the looks of this new one, even though, as I said earlier as well, I do prefer the old one. The grille styling for the old one just feels like it's separated more from the rest of the 1500 lineup. Still not a bad looking design. This two-tone also works really well. And we do have the rear locker, but I'm in four-wheel drive, and that is totally fine for what we're doing right now. We don't necessarily need to lock the rear end just to get out of this place. It's just a pretty mild off-road track here. But when you're stepping on it, you definitely feel all that 420 horsepower. And it's a pretty fun truck to drive. Even though it is a full-size truck, it's not really, it doesn't feel as nimble as the Ranger Raptor that I tested here last time I was here. That was way more just easy to handle, specifically when we were in the woods and all the branches sticking out. That felt so much easier than this big beast. Another thing I really love about this new Rebel is that we do have all the camera views here. So let's go and check out the front camera here. Top plus front sounds good to me. And let's see exactly where we have the trajectory lines here, so we can see exactly where we're gonna position our wheels and tires, which is fantastic. Definitely got a lot smoother when we brought the height down just one notch. You have 4 different levels. This is in the 3rd highest level, and you can definitely feel a difference in the stiffness. This is probably the one I would prefer to have it in when I go off-road instead of the top one. It just becomes so harsh to ride. I still think that the Ram Rebel is the one that I would personally buy when it comes to full-size off-road capable trucks. It looks still, to me, the best looking of the range, the GMC Chevys. This Ram just has the right look, at least for me. And then you also have this interior, which I think is the best in this class. I do know that Chevy has recently really stepped up their interiors, and they have great interiors too. But just from a personal preference, I think this one is the one I would go for. Even if it only comes with a inline 6 now. You do get better fuel economy, you do get more power, more torque. I mean, there are really not a lot of downsides to the to the 6-cylinder, except for, you know, you don't have the V8 rumble anymore. But that is one compromise that I'm willing to do because of how well this drives. It's just a riot on these trails.